Get in the know. Non-stop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
It is a Write That Down Wednesday here, where we are the only show in America dumb enough to put statistics next to our predictions. When are you going to admit that you were wrong, Judd?
I'm going to do it twice on Wednesdays, and then I'm going to take a beating on Twitter the rest of the time.
Classic clickbait, Judd.
Besides that, I never admit I'm wrong. Never.
Yeah, how do we feel after yesterday's, I guess we'll call it a brawl. You know, Judd brought some, here's what I will apologize for. I think we pride ourselves on creating safe spaces for reckless speculation. Let's entertain the premise. It's a safe space, right?
Reckless speculation.
I don't know that I created a safe space for you. I feel like I went from let's entertain it to let's shoot it down very, very quickly. I still would have shot it down, but I would have given you more of a safe space than to just immediately dunk on you.
No, perhaps that's why you were called out as a bully on Twitter.
A bully.
You're
the bully who's trying to get rid of the Vikings'
culture.
best players.
Yeah, you know what? I was actually surprised that beyond a few tweets and notes I saw, which were just like, you're a moron, there was a lot of discussion about it. And like, you know, I felt it actually resonated more than I expected with the thought that Christian Darrisaw could get the Vikings a huge haul back. So I was pleasantly surprised by the overall takeaway that it created more discussion than I thought it might.
Yeah, I mean, it is. We've come out of the gate pretty hot here in an otherwise kind of benign time in Vikings history. They're 2-4. They look like they're headed nowhere. And Monday, I kind of freaked out about Kirk Cousins. And Tuesday, you just traded Christian Darrisaw for a bunch of first-round picks, and people kind of freaked out.
You know, a lot of calls are coming in. As Darren told us in the scoops on Tuesday, the Vikings are open for business.
Yeah. By the way, breaking Vikings news here that just came out a little while ago. Hold on, that's the wrong button. Let me try this one. There we go. This one will work better. Marcus Davenport officially placed on injured reserve, so he has to miss at least 4 games with a high ankle sprain. Kene Wangu activated to the 53. A little more speed. I don't know if they'll use it, but
here's the question, though. If Kene is activated, does this mean Ty Chandler is now inactive? Because Kene Wangu is going to return kicks, I'm sure.
Why don't they try, I don't know, you got 2 guys on your roster that run a 4.3 40-yard dash in Ty Chandler and Kene Wangu. Maybe find a way for both those guys to be on the field, part of the offense once in a while. You know? Just a thought.
I'm guessing
throw
Ty
that out
Chandler.
You know?
I'm guessing Ty Chandler might be in a sweatpants and a hoodie on Sunday or on Monday night.
Yeah, let's keep giving the ball to Alexander Madison 25 times. Wow. We wouldn't want these guys that run a 4.3 40 to touch the football in the National Football League.
I try to tell you about Ty Chandler. I think KLC's a genius. He listened to me. He said Ty Chandler's no good. He can't really get on the field. So I don't know what you're talking about. I actually am praising him for this.
So we'll see what happens with these roster shakeups. Before we get to our accountability session and before we get to our predictions here, shout out to our friends over at AG1, okay? So AG1 is something that I discovered about 6 years ago, and it has been a game changer for me. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that supports your body's universal needs like gut optimization, stress management, immune support. If you're not great about getting all the nutrients from foods naturally, like myself, if I'm being honest, on a daily basis, that corned beef sandwich and fries last night before the Timberwolves game wasn't exactly getting me all the nutrients I needed, but it was good. 1 scoop of AG1 mixed with my water in the morning, I'm covered for the day. 75 high-quality ingredients, important daily nutrients. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/purpledaily. That's drinkag1.com/purpledaily to check it out. All right, boys, here's how this works. 3 Vikings or football-related predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of completion percentage and touchdowns on the show. And listeners, if you want to participate like our guy Dan is about to, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app. There's a feedback section, and we'll get you scheduled for some time in the near future. If we don't get back to you on the first try, we try to get back to everyone. Send us a follow-up, and we'll get you scheduled. All right, Judd, it's time for your comeuppance. 3 things came off the board. We'll start with the bad, and then we'll go really good at the end. You said Brandon Powell will catch a touchdown pass in that game against the Bears.
Oh, God, he dropped him. No. Bad prediction.
The Vikings won't turn the ball over in the game. Kirk tried hard to turn it over twice. He did get the one.
He did. He got help from the replay officials.
But then you said Greg Joseph, you countered Declan's prediction, saying Greg Joseph will miss, or was it the other way around?
Other way around. I countered Judd's prediction.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever it was. Judd said Greg Joseph will miss an extra point against the Chicago Bears. Swing and a drive. A touchdown bomb. Wow. Nice prediction.
Castellanos has a 3-run homer, and I don't know if I'll ever work again.
Old Macadac had a decent week. We'll start with the bad here. Said Jordan Addison would go for over 100 and at least a touchdown. He had like 38 and a touchdown because, had to throw the ball to Alexander Madison 7 times instead of Jordan Addison. I said Kenny Albert will call a Vikings game within the next 4 weeks.
Too good for the Vikings is what he is, boys.
It's the Lions and the Bears on Fox. That's the problem. The Lions have elevated above Kenny Albert, and the Vikings are below Kenny Albert. So, what do I do? I don't know. I'm just going to sit over here and be Kenny Albert.
It's time for the NFC South. Buccaneers, a pleasant surprise.
I did tell you guys that somebody who hasn't fumbled yet for the Vikings would fumble against the Bears. Come on down, Byron Murphy Jr.
Wow. Oh, boy.
Officially credited with a fumble in that game after dropping his return and picking it back up.
And called out by the coach for it as he's being given a game ball.
That's right. That's a backdoor way to get a touchdown here. I write that down. Wasn't expecting a defensive player to be it, but here we are. And then I said there'd be photo or video evidence sometime before the end of the season that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce would be showing affection, and we had paparazzi photos of hand-holding, canoodling.
SNL.
We did.
Oh, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great to see 2 young people in love.
Indeed. Hope it works out for her.
Listeners, Marshall said Vikings beat the Bears by 2 possessions, and Addison records 100 yards and at least a touchdown. Alex had a parlay. He said over the first 4 games, we missed this one earlier, so we'll clean it up now. Lewis Seam will play less than 50% of the snaps. He was right about that leg. That Brian Asamoah would play more than 50%. And then a Caleb Evans would play more. So we got 2 out of the 3 correct. And I want to highlight this one. It's still on the board. But Greg said before the season that the Vikings would convert a fake punt on 4th and 4 or more.
No. Oh, no, because if he had just said a fake punt, he's already right.
Converted a fake punt would have been the correct prediction here, but he said it was 4th and 2 against the Chiefs.
Oh.
And here's the problem. If he had just said converted a fake punt, that's a touchdown.
100%. It's a touchdown.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Like you didn't need the down and distance.
So we'll leave it on the board in case
Greg.
they do it at some point later in the season. But Greg, that's how you shoot yourself in the foot here. I'll write that down. All right, the Dexter said Greg Joseph won't miss a kick against the Bears.
Did his job.
Always defending, oddly, a very mediocre to bad kicker.
Still in red, though, so.
TJ Hockenson will catch a red zone touchdown against the Bears. And Jordan Addison would go over 100 against the Bears. But the specificity of this prediction is a touchdown here. You said the Vikings would go exactly 2-2 over their next 4 games, starting with that Chargers game, and they did.
Very nice.
They could have gone 0-4, 1-3, 2-2, 3-1. There's a bunch of different options, and he nailed the right one. I think 4-0 probably wasn't an option, but the other options were in play. So with that, Declan still leading narrowly here in the completion percentage battle, 36% over Judd's 35%. Judd still with the touchdown lead of 9 touchdowns to Declan's 8. I have 34%, 7 touchdowns. Listeners down at 20.5% and only 2 touchdowns on the season. Should have had a third if Greg didn't get greedy with that 4th and 4 angle. Declan barely leading Judd in the career stats here, 35.5% completions, Judd at 35. I'm at 32.5. Listeners just under 23%. I have my 40th touchdown pass of my career, and you guys each had touchdowns too. 31 for Declan, 27 for Judd, 29 for the listeners. So there we go, boys.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
That's the accountability session. Let's get our guy Dan in, making his debut on Write That Down. Dan, you were on Vent Line this week. We're getting a big dose of Dan here.
Thanks for having me, boys. Appreciate you guys and what you do.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Tell the audience here, when did you become a Vikings fan? What's your background with this team?
Born in '86, was a huge Vikings fan growing up. My favorite player is Chris Carter. Always got Chris Carter's toe tapping, catches in the sidelines, I remember I was at my grandma's for the loss against the Falcons, and I did not go to school for 3 days after that. I was like 12.
Wow, dude.
Whoa.
So then what I did was I put in Madden, and I just mocked up a championship game, and I just beat the brakes off the Falcons for like three days in a row. And
how'd you convince your folks or whatever to allow you a 3-day sabbatical?
Oh, I just threw a huge fit. I was just a huge.
Good for you.
I was like, I'm not going. So, and
So
I played football too.
You were
Wow.
like you went back on like Thursday then. Did what did the teachers say? Or they?
I told them I was mad. I said the Vikings stink, and they shouldn't have lost that game. And Brian Billick lost that game for the Vikings, and the teacher didn't care.
What a great.
And then
great story.
the championship against the Giants also a letdown. Terrible. I don't even want to talk about that. That's almost like unbearable to think about, that Giants loss in the championship.
Really?
I mean,
It
that's
was
another.
0 or something. It was 41-0.
It was, but it was so bad. Like the Falcons loss, I totally get. That ripped your heart out.
But
like
the
that
Giants
team-
the Giants weren't even that good. They had like
No, they were
Kerry
terrible.
Collins. Like they were not a great team. And
Oh,
then they
they weren't
got
at all.
smoked in the Super Bowl. I would have been curious to see that Vikings offense with Dante able to move, maybe outrun Ray Lewis against that.
Yeah.
They probably still lose to the Ravens, but we never talk about what if the Vikings just beat a mediocre Giants team, and get to the Super Bowl.
The Giants have our number in the playoffs. It's bad.
Yeah.
God, it's embarrassing.
I feel like
And
that
then-
game though, and 2017, you got boat raced so badly that it's hard for me to like look back and think, what if? Like the Falcons game or the Saints game, which is probably the most painful because of your opportunity. Those are such what if, But like when you lose 41 donut or you score the first touchdown in Philadelphia and then just fall apart, it's like, oh boy.
The Saints game would have been interesting if the Vikings win that Saints game. It'd be interesting to see who starts that game, because didn't they see Brett Favre's leg was like so black and purple, like he couldn't even walk. Like he would wheel him out in a wheelchair.
They would have found a way. They would have put some horse
yeah.
medication in him and sent him out there.
Exactly.
So, well, let's do this. Let's go around the room here. 3 different trips. We'll each make one prediction per lap. We'll start with Dan, over to Judd, Declan, and then back to me. The predictions must be football or show related, and they must be quantifiable. Those are really
Write this down.
the only parameters. So, Dan, you're under center, man. What's your first prediction?
I think San Francisco has playmakers on every level of that defense. The 49ers are really mad they lost that game. Brock Purdy did everything he was supposed to. He marched down the field, got him within winning, and the field goal was missed. So I think they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. I think the struggle, the Vikings struggle against the blitz really bad. My prediction, Kirk Cousins will have at least 1 fumble and 1 interception.
All right.
On Monday Night Football. Where the lights are bright, Kirk.
That is not good news for the Vikings for a potential upset win at home.
No, is that?
Write this down.
All right, over to Judd.
All right, the prediction I'm about to make is such a slam dunk. I feel like the write that down karma gods are going to bite me in the ass, and I don't know how, but I'm still going to make the prediction. The Vikings-Bears game on Monday, November 27th, will be flexed out of that spot.
Yeah.
So it's a Monday night game. I believe it's the first game because Sunday night starts in week 8 or something. But the new rule is, I believe it's late November. They're now going to be able to flex really bad Monday night matchups out. This game is going to be flexed out of that spot. I don't know where it's going perhaps they'll just call it and not play. It's going to be so bad.
So flexing schedule is in effect during the following windows. Sunday Night Football, it may be used up to twice between weeks 5 and 10.
Okay.
And at the NFL's discretion during weeks 11 through 17. So they're trying to limit flexing between 5 and 10 for Sunday. And then it's just wide open for flexing after week 11. For Monday Night Football, it may be used at the NFL's discretion starting in week 12. So, interesting. So they can start flexing Sunday games pretty much right now, it sounds
Yes.
Write this down.
Okay. The Dexter?
All right, first prediction from me with Marcus Davenport's injury. Going to see a lot of DJ Wonnum, so write it down. DJ Wonnum records a sack or a tackle for a loss against the 49ers.
Okay.
Yep, or a tackle for a loss. I want that as a little bit of a backdoor, but he records a sack or a tackle for a loss against the 49ers. Write it down.
Yeah, dude, he had 6 pressures. He had just a great game, but I think Judd kind of nailed it. A lot of it's because you've got Danielle Hunter on some of these plays. Hunter and Davenport are both monsters, and Wonnum is just getting some open lanes because off twists and whatever. Yep. So we'll see how he does without Davenport now. They might have to dial some more stuff up here than they.
The Flores effect is what that was, I think.
You know, Judd's inspired me here for my next prediction.
Write this
Looking
down.
at the Viking schedule and reading the flex rules.
Everything's going to be.
So the week before that Monday night game, the Vikings have a Sunday night game at Denver.
Yep.
Sunday Night Football, Vikings at Broncos. And that is within the flex anything window. That's week 11, and the NFL can just start flexing whatever they want to. They could flex a game to Tuesday if they want. It doesn't matter.
They probably should.
So that game, that Sunday night game against the Broncos will be flexed out.
Okay.
No one's going to want
It's going to be
especially the
flexed to
Broncos. Like
4 a.m. Central the next Wednesday.
There's some good candidates here too. You have Bucks and Niners in the 3 o'clock spot. You have Steelers Browns at the noon spot.
Oh, dude, just a 13-6 grind fest. Let's go.
Jets and Bills. They already did one. Did they do a primetime game together?
Yeah,
they
first
did.
Game, first game of the season.
That's right.
Let's rack it up again.
So yeah, there's candidates there. I bet
the Jets. Okay. I bet the Jets and Bills is protected because I think each network, if I'm not mistaken, when the schedule comes out, so Fox and CBS can protect. I think it's up to 5 games.
But Steelers Browns would not be then, right?
Steelers Browns would probably not be protected.
Put that game.
Yes.
Yeah, put it in. All right, back over to our guy Dano here.
All right. The Vikings are currently ranked 30th out of 32 teams in rushing. So, and the only other team who has not scored a rushing touchdown other than the Vikings are the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is pretty bad. So, I mean, it kind of goes to what I was saying before. Like, Madison does not have vision. He literally is like a blind guy going to the hole and doesn't picks a hole and just goes to it. So my prediction is Vikings will score 1 rushing touchdown in this game, and if they can't, it solidifies how unbalanced this offense really is and how much they believed in this running back room when they shouldn't have.
And how many? Maybe did you just say this? How many rushing touchdowns do they have? So your prediction is they'll have a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, they'll have a rushing touchdown. No, they have 0 rushing touchdowns as a team,
along with the Steelers.
Along with the Steelers,
season. That's what I thought.
They have 0. There's only 2 teams who have not scored a rushing touchdown in 6 games.
That's crazy.
Madison's caught a couple, right?
Yeah, I think he's caught a touchdown. Yeah, absolutely. I think it was like a screen or something.
Here's another one. All right. I don't know. I'm just looking at the Vikings. So I don't know where this ranks, but this seems awful. So they've played 6 games. The Vikings only have 20 rushing first downs in 6 games. Ugh. So they're averaging like 3 rushing first downs per game, if my math is correct there.
I mean, they were 2 out of 13 on 3rd down against the Bears. I mean, what is that? 2 of 13 against the Bears. Yeah, the Bears have a good run defense, but their defense is bad.
Yeah, it's tough.
They had 2 second-half first downs, period.
Yeah. Both rushing, by the way. So
write this down.
Tip of the cap. Okay. Judd?
All right, I had a Justin Jefferson prediction last week, but I'm going to now spice it up, add on some prognostication here. Justin Jefferson will return against Las Vegas on December 10th after the bye week. So he will miss 7 games. So his first game back, I do not think he's going to sit out the rest of the season. But the more I look at this, he could miss 4 to 6 games. Okay. So then if he just sits out, if it's going to be 6 games, if he sits out the 7th, he gets the bye week. And with the direction of this team and a guy with a hamstring, I see no reason on God's green earth to push it. So I think he returns, but it's December 10th at Las Vegas, Dex.
Okay. Will Kirk Cousins be his quarterback?
Well, if he's not, Justin will cry. Justin can't play without Kirk. His
It's
best
right.
friend.
He won't come back if it's
Hey, Kirk, can you come out to play? No, I'm sorry. Kirk's busy as an Atlanta Falcon.
No, Sean Mannion will be in at that point.
Oh man.
We didn't talk about that enough. How about they bring back Kirk's baby blanket?
Isn't that weird? Like he can't play. He can't play. Why he literally can't play. Sean
I
Mannion.
wonder what he was doing. Like, since he's like, what has he been doing? Was he just sitting at home? Was he
was at the
coaching?
local
Was
cafe cooking turnovers?
Exactly. Like, what was he doing? I kind of want to
FaceTiming
know.
with Kirk.
Good Colin
FaceTiming
idea.
You hang up. No, you
What were you
hang up.
doing
No, you
in
hang
the
up.
last
Write this
9
down.
months?
Amazing. Okay, we're back to Declan here for his second prediction.
All right, second prediction. This still stands. I just checked as of 60 seconds ago. The Vikings are 7-point underdogs at home. They're home dogs against the Niners. So write it down. The Vikings cover the 7-point spread against the Niners. Spoiling a little purple. Actually, I won't be on purple props this weekend, I don't think. But
Purple picks, by the way.
Purple picks.
Purple picks. We should change
but
that.
they
We
will
should
cover.
Change that thumbnail too, probably.
Weren't
Probably
the
should do
points
that.
like 44 or something, Dex? I think the
Think
points
so,
were like
yeah.
44.
Yeah, the number one defense for the Niners kind of limits the Vikings trying to run up the score there.
So if that would be a nice moral victory if they were to keep this close, 2-5, but they'd be like 2-4-1 because it'd be the Chiefs was kind of a moral victory too. So they're kind of like 2-3-2 if they rack up another moral victory.
Write this down.
I don't feel that way, and I am also spoiling the Purple Picks episode on Saturday. I think this is a touchdown. You guys can let me know. At some point, so let me back up. We saw 3 games last year in which the Vikings were completely boat raced.
Love that term.
4 if you count the first half of the Colts game, where at home they were down 33-0 right away. If the Niners get up 33-0 on you, you ain't coming back, right? The Colts with Jeff Saturday coaching, different story. The Cowboys boat raced them. The Packers did. The Eagles, the Vikings kind of shot themselves in the foot in that game, but I got a similar feeling about this game against San Francisco. So here's my prediction. The Vikings will trail by at least 28 points in this game at some point.
Wow.
They will trail by at least 28 points in this game at some point. Write it down.
At halftime?
I almost said halftime like 21 points, but I'm going to go at some point 28 points during the game.
The
Write it
booze
down.
will be raining down if that's the case.
I have a
Home?
really cryptic bad feeling about this game. The way San Francisco lost, the only saving grace would be if so Christian McCaffrey's injuries are not nearly as bad as they thought, and he's maybe in line to play on Monday. I haven't seen a status on Deebo Samuel yet, but if those guys both miss the game, then you have an opening because they won't be able to just plug and play replacements. But
Right.
I don't know. I just have a kind of a creeping death feeling about this game. I just
Write
do.
this down.
CJ's hand can take notes at Ayuk, what he does.
Use check. Yeah,
Use check,
yeah. Dan, what is your third and final prediction here?
All right. The Vikings' red zone offense is 21st in the NFL right now. They've only scored on 50% of their trips to the red zone. So they were much better last year. Mostly, I think, thanks to Thielen. I think they really missed Thielen in the red zone this year. Even though he can't run, I still think he doesn't duck passes in the end zone like somebody else running pass through the end zone. So the Vikings will continue to struggle in the red zone, and they will kick at least 3 field goals from the red zone.
Okay.
Against the Niners.
Against the Niners.
Just to be clear. Okay. All right.
Write this
Hey,
down.
Dan, great job here in your debut on Write That Down. We loved hearing about your skipping of school because you were sad in 1998. Since you've got this life-changing platform right now on Purple Daily, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that helped you get to this pinnacle moment?
I'd like to thank my mom for bringing me to all the football practices and putting up with me. And basically just my health, my wealth, my family, my kids. And just want to say thanks to you guys, what you do huge fan of the show. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep the grind up. And even if they lose, man, we got to Skol forever. Skol forever.
There's
all we got.
plenty to look forward to if they win or lose after Monday. Life will go on as a Vikings fan.
It will.
So awesome stuff, man. There he is, Dan, making his debut. Good luck with your predictions, and we hope to see you again sometime.
You too, guys.
All right. Before we make our final predictions and get to a quarterback cesspool challenge, let's tell the audience how they can have more fun watching football the rest of this week. Declan?
Yeah, Underdog Fantasy. In fact, I got a slip, not from the football slate of games last night, but from the hockey slate of games, Judd Zolgad. I even got some hires here on Zuccarello and Joel Eriksson-Ek. He also took some over-unders against Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki. He was watching a little WoW game, getting a sweat on. You can do that with all sorts of games with Underdog Fantasy. You got Thursday Night Football coming up. Even I won one in the baseball playoffs last night. I took a little Bryce Harper prop with an extra boosted payout. You can do this all at Underdog Fantasy with promo code SCORE, SKOR. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, if you're a new user, they will send you a mystery pick'em special. It's like guarantees you basically the first leg of a pick'em for you in Underdog Fantasy. Go to Underdog Fantasy, promo code SCORE, SKOR for a $100 deposit match.
Quick Trip has also jumped on board here to help power Purple Daily throughout the coming season and into 2024, Judd. Tell the audience why Quick Trip is amazing.
Because it's the perfect place for one-stop shopping. I mean, no matter what you need, Quick Trip is basically going to have it, including your lunch or dinner. The options on the chicken at Quick Trip are fantastic. In fact, Wednesday, fried chicken, bone-in, hand-breaded, prepared fresh daily, 2, 4, or 8-piece. And there is an 8-piece special on Wednesdays. There's roasted whole chicken. There's chicken tenders, which are 3 or 8-piece, prepared
tendies.
Fresh daily. Oh, yeah, those are
Tendies, baby.
outstanding. Let's do it.
Ranch hot sauce.
Tandies.
Chicken sandwiches, boneless wings. There is the Karuba coffee. Listen, Quick Trip has, as Phil said, jumped on board as a presenting sponsor of our show. We appreciate it. And I appreciate all of you who now tweet me with your Quick Trip trips at JZolgad on X or Twitter as we formerly knew it.
Hey, and a shout out to our friends at 3Jack in the North Loop, which is a wonderful place for you to, if you're in the area, perhaps before one of these games, go down the street, go to 3Jack to stuff your face with those pulled pork, pulled chicken nachos.
Yeah, I know our guy Alex Boone mentioned he wanted to go there. He can make fun of my terrible golf swing, and that'd be a blast at 3Jack in the North Loop. You can get the loaded nachos. In fact, any Purple Daily audience member, fan, whatever it is, mentions Purple Daily, you get a free pint with the purchase of any menu item as well. So go to 3Jack, tell them you heard this ad on Purple Daily. It helps them out. It helps us out here at 3Jack. Get those golf simulator bays in with fall golf, tee times booking up. You can go to 3Jack and 3Jack.com. Go check them out in the North Loop.
All right, boys. Final predictions here,
Write it down.
starting
You like writing
with
things
Judd.
down?
All right, I have no feel for if the Vikings are going to keep the game close on Monday, or as Phil predicted, just absolutely get their drawers blown off. But I do have one, write that down for the game. And that is that because I think the chemistry is redeveloping now, and we saw a little bit of it in Chicago after he dropped one pass. TJ Hockenson is going to catch a touchdown pass on Monday night.
Okay.
TJ Hockenson. I think the chemistry is coming back, and I think that the chemistry was in disarray because of the fact that he didn't really take part in training camp.
Yeah, it makes a big difference when you don't take any reps in training camp.
Write this down.
Declan.
All right, last one for me. Try to speak this into existence. The Vikings will not turn the ball over in the first half against the Niners. No fumbles, no
but
picks.
only the first half.
Only the first half.
I tried the entire game and
Only
it
the
didn't work.
first half. Just for God's sakes, just quarters 1 and 2. Don't turn the ball over. So write it down and put it on. Write that down. The Vikings will not turn the ball over in the first half against the 49ers.
All right.
Write this down.
Did you guys know Cam Akers is only 24 years old?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of crazy?
One good season
know that.
and then got hurt and basically was not used as much or at all after that.
But he broke in was he drafted when he was 20? Because his first year with the Rams was 2020. So this is his fourth year. I was kind of shocked when I was combing through some of the stuff for this week's game that, he's only 24 years old. So here's my Cam Akers prediction. He carried the ball one time last week. One time last week. He had 5 carries and then 5 carries in the previous 2 weeks. So I will say this. Cam Akers will set a new Vikings high in carries. He will carry the ball at least 6 times in the run game against the Niners. I just don't see how they would keep the same ratio going forward. I think you got some smart people in that coaching
shocked me
staff
so
front
far.
office. So he'll have at least 6 carries in the game, Cam Akers.
Write this down.
So those are our predictions. Write that down every single Wednesday here on Purple Daily, where we make fools of ourselves and show you just how idiotic and wrong we are on a regular basis. Let's jump into our quarterback cesspool challenge here, gentlemen, where we attempt to identify the worst quarterback play in the NFL every single week. It is a weekly celebration of bad quarterback play. We'll get to last week's results and then our picks for this week in just a second here, but here's how it works. Each member of the show picks a quarterback that we expect to be bad for the upcoming weekend's games. Much like a survivor pool, you can only use a quarterback once per season. And the criteria is very simple. We're looking for the lowest QBR, and that's a 0 to 100 scale. It's ESPN's sort of analytical creation. If your quarterback doesn't play, you just get a default QBR of average, which is 50. Declan Goff, for the second week in a row, has taken this thing down with his selection of Russell Wilson last week. Just a putrid performance on national TV.
Justin
Horrible.
Fields, a week too late.
Yeah, Dex, you identified the second worst quarterback in the NFL last week, according to QBR, Russell Wilson. Justin Fields. So Wilson was a 9.8 QBR, just ahead of Justin Fields' 9.5.
Who I took the week before and had a great game against the
Commanders,
Commandos.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
So I also struck gold with Ryan Tannehill, an 18.3 QBR out of 100.
He got hurt, yeah.
Kind of a bad beat. Even if he would have stayed in that game, I don't think he would have gotten quite to the depths of Russell Wilson. And then Judd took a flyer on struggling rookie Bryce Young, who kind of held his own, 47.4 QBR in that game.
Second week in a row. I mean,
he's coming along.
You guys are supposed to suck. Justin Fields. Why did you have to suck against the Vikings?
So that is Declan's second victory of the season. We all have 2 wins on the season so far.
Wow.
But the overall standings, I have taken the lead over Judd with the lowest average QBR among us, so 40.6, Judd at 42.4, and Declan at 45.9. So it's a tight race here, boys. Tight, dramatic race.
It's a great race. I love this.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
It's heating up.
Yeah, we should find a way to. It'd be fun to incorporate the audience. Maybe we can, like, I don't know. We'd have to make like the write that down participant do more research than they probably signed up for. But maybe next year we can find a way to incorporate.
They might enjoy it. You never know.
The picks for this week are presented by our friends over at Livia, looking to help you lose a bunch of weight potentially before the holidays roll around.
Yep. In fact, look at that guy right there. That's Sports Day. Down 40 pounds a couple of years ago now. Livia Weight Control Centers. I'm going to tell you this. And it looks like from the notes I'm getting that more and more men are joining and realizing the benefits of a weight loss journey that is not a diet. It is not like a hardcore, okay, I'm on a diet and now I'm not. No, it's a lifestyle change that still allows you to live your life. And guys, that's the most important thing. So if you want to fit back into those clothes, get the pounds off, in the next 2 months or so, Livia is going to work. And have I got an offer for you? If you join right now, 6 months for free, not 3 months. That was the offer. Now it's 6 months. The offer is good through this Saturday. So do not procrastinate. Join now, 855-GO-LIVIA, Livia, LIVEA.com. Guys, get on board because this works.
And also, hey, at the scorenorth.com/shop section of our website, we have a collectibles wing where you can get amazing memorabilia, signed swag. This Harrison Smith signed jersey here, Harry the Hitman, for your man cave, your basement, a gift. Holidays are coming up too. Could be a great time to get something for a loved one, your kids, your parents, your football-loving siblings, whatever it is. Scorenorth.com/shop. Click on collectibles powered by Universal Sports Auctions. These are all buy it now options. All sorts of amazing things for you to bid on and deck out your basement or man cave. Promo code SCORE at checkout for 10% off the entire store. All right, we go in reverse order of last week's standings. So let's go back here. I think Judd then gets Judd gets the first overall pick. I get the second overall pick. Declan, you get the third overall pick.
Okay, this race is incredibly tight and it's awesome. It's a lot of fun. But I've been thinking about this way too much because what I'm about to do is going to surprise you guys.
Oh, don't do it.
But I want to keep some bullets in the chamber for late in the season.
SOB.
I want to take a quarterback who's going to shock you. It will not shock the audience because they'll say, "Of course you did that. You're a jackass."
Oh my
You're
God! I just realized what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Are you going to do it?
The first overall
You're
pick
taking mine.
in the Week 7 Cesspool Challenge. Wears purple and is going to be playing about 3 miles from here. Kirk Cousins.
Wow, dude.
I was going to use it.
Wow.
You like it on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Wow. I want to say I mean, it had to happen at some point. None of us have taken Kirk in the quarterback cesspool challenge. I think this is a misstep by you, not because I think they're going to be down by 28 at some point. So I think he's going to have a bad game. But this leaves me with a wide open lane for the second overall pick to select Tyson Bagent, the Bears' backup starting quarterback.
Yep.
The guy that we saw throw an end-over-end duck as an interception to end that game.
I want some horse manure left for me late in the seasons when I know my position. It might be a misstep. You might be exactly right, but it
feels like a desperate play. I think you overthought this a little.
I've rethought this game.
I was going to pick Kirk because I figured Komet was going to go off the board first, and then Judd was going to take someone else, and then I was just going to take Kirk as the third pick. I'm playing with house money a little bit here. I was like, oh, this will be fine. But for you to go with the first pick, that's pretty bold. Pretty bold.
It is bold. So Declan so far, just to create some drama here, Declan so far has used Mac Jones, Ryan Tannehill, Daniel Jones, Sam Howell, Kenny Pickett, and Russell Wilson. He's won the last 2 weeks with Russell Wilson and Kenny Pickett. Can he keep the hot streak alive?
Yeah, and I didn't take Pickett. I'm leaving.
All right. I will take this guy's been struggling mightily after a surprisingly hot start in the quarterback cesspool challenge. I believe both of you guys have burned this one already. Give me Josh Dobbs.
Joshua Dobbs.
Yes.
QBRs of 16.6 and 9.6 respectively the last 2 weeks after ridiculous starts to the season.
It's all about timing.
I'm going to use the Josh Dobbs pick, try to stay on the hot streak. They got the Seahawks this weekend. They're on the road. So give me Josh Dobbs.
It's a good pick. I picked Josh Dobbs the second week of the season, and he put up a 74.9 QBR and it was the second best performance of all of our quarterbacks.
He has 2 QBR performances of 83 and above.
Yeah.
I know, it's insane. Maybe it ends this week. So wow, Kirk Cousins for Judd. I'm taking Tyson Bagent with the Bears, and Declan's taking Joshua Dobbs in our quarterback cesspool challenge. So
Here comes the hate. The hate. I can feel it. It's coming in already.
It's all part of the game. Like you're gonna have to pick 18 quarterbacks.
I know.
You know?
That's what I'm.
So
right. No, I'm trying to work the system here. I'm willing to forfeit this week because when it's late in the season, I want to have a few guys that are awful.
Yeah,
because it's such a tight race.
I think you still got a night. Well, you've used you've used Zach Wilson, Mac Jones. I have not used Mac Jones yet. I thought about using him this week against the Bills.
Zach Wilson, though. Zach Wilson's been better.
A little.
It's been a little better.
It's funny. Zach Wilson doesn't trip and puke all over himself for look at him.
Well, for the cesspool.
Incredible defense.
And the cesspool. But when you're talking about being in the cesspool, we need bad. We need awful. We don't need bad. We need terrible.
Yeah, Dex has not used Zach Wilson yet. So it'll be interesting to see when he fires that bullet. All right. Hey, thank you guys for making Purple Daily one of the most listened to football podcasts in America over the past year and a half, 2 years. You're either sickos who love the Vikings or you just love Judd's Quick Trip hat. We're not quite sure, but we appreciate you guys. If you could take the time to give us a 5-star rating and a positive review on Apple Podcasts and click the like button and the subscribe button on the Purple Daily YouTube channel, we would be very grateful. We'll see you tomorrow for a state of the offense and a random Viking of the week here. Purple Daily. All right, welcome into Stepping Up, presented by Federated Insurance, where we talk with next-generation business owners and business leaders about their process, about their philosophies, what challenges they face, and their vision for the future of business. And our guest on this episode is the Chief Operating Officer of the Minnesota Timberwolves, a man who has seen a lot of basketball and a lot of sports business the last 20 or 25 years, Ryan Tanke. Thank you for joining, Ryan.
Great to see you, Phil. Great to be here. Thank you for having me on. This is fun.
A friend of mine who's done some business leadership consulting throughout the last 20 years. And he's always said, everyone has a different definition of leadership. The way that he defines leadership is facilitating the success of your team, essentially. Do you have a way that you define leadership? Do you have any sort of like what is leadership to you, I guess?
Yeah, I think leadership is helping people unlock and achieve, things that they otherwise sometimes don't believe are possible. Sometimes they just need, help with a roadmap. So I think it's helping people unlock and achieve is sort of leadership. We talk all the time here, Phil, about impact. And so I think the number one obligation and responsibility of a leader is like create impact. And I don't mean like on the business, I mean on the people, which is I look at two things every day are kind of by filter, which is one, who did I impact today? And two is how do I want to be remembered? And if I can, go through that impact and legacy aspects of this, oftentimes you're going to make the right decisions along the way.
Love it, man. Love to hear that, and appreciate your insights on business leadership. And yeah, Ryan, it was great catching up. Thanks for your time today, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Love doing it, and love to do it again sometime.
Ryan Tanke, the Chief Operating Officer of the Minnesota Timberwolves and Minnesota Lynx, here on Stepping Up, presented by Federated Insurance.